going on? It's your boy, Sheiv, the Wise. Welcome into Vader's Lair, everyone. Happy February 13th. That's a Monday. It's almost a Valentine's Day to you. And I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome into the chat. Hope you enjoyed the Super Bowl yesterday. For those of you guys that watched, we had some pretty cool nerdy trailers, if I'm being real. It was kind of a fun game, I guess. I don't know. Welcome into the chat though, guys. I hope you're doing well. Good to see everybody in the live chat. Let's get this thing rolling because we got a lot to talk about with The Mandalorian Season 3, and I'm definitely excited for it. We're about 2 weeks away, just a little over, I believe. Just about, 16 days until The Mandalorian Season 3. So let's get on top of it, man. Let's get the hype going. Hope you're doing well, and let's do it. Welcome into the chat, one and all. Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new, and a big welcome to you if you are. So let's get this going and talk about some Mandalorian Season 3, because Empire actually recently had some really cool articles and some first looks, like covers and stuff, for their new magazines for The Mandalorian Season 3, and they're pretty cool. They're pretty cool. I don't know what happened to my audio there. They're pretty cool. So let's get into this. I want to bring up the article here, so give me 1 second, and we're gonna do it. Window capture, where are you? Swiftly, we must pull up the articles and talk about The Mandalorian Season 3. So let me know, what's your hype level, guys, for The Mandalorian Season 3 as of right now? 2 weeks away. I am getting super excited for it, man. The Mandalorian Season 3 is something that brings a lot of us Star Wars, Mandalorian in general, brings us a lot of us Star Wars fans together. And it's amazing to see when the fan base is united on something. Hey, what up, Mikey MC, Don Clotterman, Talented Mr. Griffin, the Sabersmith. Much love to everybody in the chat. Jedi Mike, I see you too, my friend. Where is my article? Is it safe? Is it all right? Here it is. That's why I couldn't find it. All right, let's pull this up. Sorry for the delay. Here we go. Alright, here we go. So this is the bottom of the article, but from Empire's world exclusive The Mandalorian Season 3 covers revealed. And there we see the first little tidbit cover, which is kind of what we put as the thumbnail. So the notion of family has always been at the center of Star Wars, and while its galaxy is littered with legendarily bad dads. Okay. It definitely is. One father figure stands out as a shining beacon, quite literally in his Beskar armor, they say. Of paternal excellence. Yes, quite excellent. The Mandalorian, Din Djarin, aka The Mandalorian, and his growing bond with force-wielding youngling Grogu, aka Baby Yoda, has been the big beating heart of the ripping space yarn The Mandalorian. While Season 2 finally broke our hearts seeing Din hand Grogu over to legendary Jedi Luke Skywalker, much love for the 6 months, Talented Mr. Grip. Thank you for being an acolyte. Much love, my friend. Thanks for being a member for 6 months. Let us continue. Where was I? We saw Din hand over Grogu to the legendary Jedi Luke Skywalker to learn the ways of the Force. The long-awaited Season 3 finds the father and son officially reunited after their quick little soiree, if you will, in the Book of Boba Fett. In Mando's own words, you ready for an adventure? I definitely am. In this new issue of Empire, we take a world-exclusive dive into The Mandalorian Season 3 and the epic return with a massive 20-page blowout packed with major interviews. Oh, damn. So this is a full-on thing that they're doing. I can't wait for this. I think it comes out this week. I'm not sure. We get under the helmet with the Mandalorians themselves, Pedro Pascal, Katie Sackhoff, and Emily Swallow, discovering what it's like to don the armor and step into the Star Wars galaxy. We go long with the Mandalorian creators Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, which I think there was a little like photo shoot for the two of them that was kind of teased out today. I think you can find that in our Discord if you're interested. But we'll definitely talk about that pretty soon in the coming week or two, next couple of weeks. How about that? We go back to the beginning of Grogu in an oral history, talking to the people who helped create the scene-stealing star of the show. Grogu definitely steals every scene that he's in, that's for sure. And finding out how they brought him to adorable life. It's a real bounty jam-packed with goodies. This is the way. Let's freaking go, Empire. I'm definitely excited for these articles for sure. And here we get our first cover. The Mandalorian returns. Epic 20-page Star Wars extravaganza. Let's go. Dude, it's hype. It's hype. Alright, so real quick, it says this month's newest newsstand cover sees a helmet off Din Djarin, don't tell the armor, wielding the Darksaber, flanked by an adorable as ever Grogu and Bo-Katan Kryze, ready to kick into action once again. Let's go! Meanwhile, the subscriber-only cover illustrates exclusively for Empire by JC, hope I said that correctly, beams in an array of Mandalorian helmets, including Din Djarin, Bo-Katan, and the armors. Which others can you spot? So let's real quick take some time to spot every single one of these Mandalorians in this cover real quick. I believe the far top left is of course the armor. I think the one next to that might be Axe Woves. I'm not sure. Axe Woves is one of the is it Night Owls? Is that what they're called? Is one of the Night Owls alongside Bo-Katan Kryze. So it would be really cool to see him come back. I honestly didn't think we would see much more of Axe Woves after The Mandalorian Season 2, but hey man, here he is, as well as, I believe, if you go 2 helmets below Axe Woves, so the middle bottom one, if, you know, the middle bottom one, I believe that's actually Casca Reeves, which I had heard at one point that Casca Reeves was not going to be in The Mandalorian Season 3. Well, sure enough, here is her helmet straight up teased for the show. And I'm excited about it, man. Getting Axe Woves and Casca Reeves back, it's awesome, man. I mean, Casca was literally holding her own with Boba Fett. You know what I mean? That's some pretty impressive stuff. So excited as heck to get the two of them back. And then we have Paz Vizsla, Jon Favreau himself, I believe. I think it's him. I always say that, and I heard it once, and I think it's him, but I don't know. We do know in his past life, Jon Favreau was one of the most infamous Vizslas. Not pre-Vizsla, is it? Paz? Yeah, pre-Vizsla. So it's really cool that he is the voice of pre-Vizsla and now the live-action iteration of his descendant, Paz Vizsla. The next one we get on the left of Din Djarin, who's at the center of this entire little thing here, is a green and white Mando helmet that I think there's a Funko Pop for it. I don't know. We don't know too much about this Mandalorian character yet, but I mean, seeing as we are potentially going back to Mandalore and Mandalorian Season 3, or at least we know we are from the trailers and everything, the fact that, you know, we're getting more Mandalorians and everything, it would be really cool to find out each one of these characters' names, or each one of the central Mandalorians' names, if you will. Maybe they're from different clans, as we may find out here soon, but I'm definitely excited that we're getting a whole bunch of new Mandalorian helmets and faces, if you will. In the center there, of course, is Din Djarin himself, along with Bo-Katan next to him right there, and what looks like the next one on the one next to Casca Reeves, if you will, diagonally to Din Djarin. That one looks like it has Rex's like eye marks. I don't know if you guys can see that too, but that's exactly how that looks, and I think that's so cool to have a Mandalorian with those markings. I think, you know, Dave Filoni has been like obsessed with those markings, whatever they mean. And to see them on a Mandalorian here, potentially in Mandalorian Season 3, I think it's just so cool. It's so cool. Of course, the one next to that is Casca Reeves, as I talked about previously. I believe maybe Axe Woves is the one next to Casca Reeves. I don't know. A lot of the Mandalorian helmets look the same, which gets me to the bottom one. The bottom two, really. I don't know who the bottom left one is, but I'm pretty sure the bottom right one is Boba Fett. I mean, it has the Boba Fett dent. It's got the little bolt thing in the side of one of the, I don't know. It looks like Boba Fett's, and fans have been looking at it, analyzing the heck out of this thing, which of course, that's what us Star Wars fans do. But I'm pretty sure it's Boba's. It might be slightly different in this little, Empire thing, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be Boba Fett. I mean, the truth of the matter is, I don't know how Boba Fett wouldn't be in The Mandalorian Season 3. I mean, we know for a fact from the trailers and different things that we've seen so far that we're going back to Tatooine. And the last time we were in Tatooine was in the Book of Boba Fett, when we saw Din Djarin as well. And the two teamed up together to basically protect Tatooine. And even if Din is just going to Tatooine to talk to Peli Motto or like fix up his ship or do something, who knows why Din is going to Tatooine? Like, could be any number of reasons. The Mandalorian likes to do these little side quests sometimes. But why would we go to Tatooine and not see Boba Fett? That just doesn't make sense to me. You know what I mean? I feel like, of course, we're going to see Boba Fett in The Mandalorian Season 3, and this is our first little tease of it, in my opinion. I know some fans were speculating at Celebration that they thought they maybe saw him in the Celebration exclusive trailer. So, I don't know, though. I'm pretty positive that Boba Fett is going to be in Mandalorian Season 3. Let me know what you guys think in the chat, though. And real quick, I got to pull the chat up. I don't think I ever did. I don't think I ever did. Hopefully this doesn't absolutely destroy my... Oh, no, not yet. It's too early. All right, here we go. I got the chat up now. Thank goodness. What up, everybody in the chat? Star Wars Obsession. Good to see you, my friend. Oh, hey, girl. Good to see you, my man. Now my thing's all messed up. Darn it. Look at what you did, thing. All right, hold on. Let me move this. Here we go. Here we go. Excellent. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Boba Fett. I'm pretty sure that's Boba Fett. Back to the chat though. My name is D. What's up, my man? He likes sand? Of course. Who doesn't like sand? Anakin doesn't. But, I mean, it is rough, coarse, and irritating. And it does get everywhere. But sometimes sand is cool. I don't know. It's definitely got that dent, Stanley's. I agree with you 100%. T. Davidson, good to see you in the chat. Kendall, aka the Sensei, good to see you, my friend. Much love to Kendall. He put out a video a little bit ago. I gotta check it out, but pretty interesting. It looked like it was about some excursions. What are those things called in Marvel? God, why did I call them excursions? They're definitely not excursions. That's a truck. Help me out in the chat. Incursions. He put out a video a little bit ago about the incursions, and I'm definitely hyped to see what that's all about. Stanley says, is the left bottom Sabine's? Good question, my friend. Good question. I don't think so. It doesn't quite look quite like Sabine's. A lot of people thought that maybe Sabine was on here when they saw Bo-Katan's helmet, because her markings are kind of similar. I mean, those are the owl markings of Bo-Katan, but they're a little bit similar to Sabine's. I could see where the confusion comes from, but that's definitely Bo-Katan up here. And then this one, I think it's just a random Mandalorian. I think that's just a random Mandalorian next to Boba. It's probably just a nobody, really. I do think it's possible we could see Sabine in The Mandalorian Season 3, but as of right now, I don't believe that's her, and I don't think that we most likely will. Who's watching Ant-Man this weekend, says Dominic? Me. Definitely have a lot planned this weekend. I'm actually going to Galaxy's Edge Friday for my birthday. And then Sunday, I'm going to see Ant-Man. So I got to dodge spoilers left and right, because I know they're going to be everywhere. Tickets were already sold out. Everybody's hyped to see Kang in action, to see Ant-Man 3. I mean, the first two Ant-Mans are hysterical, man. I love those movies, so I'm definitely checking out Ant-Man this weekend. But like I said, I am going to Galaxy's Edge on Friday, so if there's anything you guys want me to make some content on or are curious to see at Galaxy's Edge, just let me know. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments if you're watching on the replay, or check out our Discord where you can let me know or hit me up anytime. Just feel free to chat with me. You know what I mean? Dominic says, I've read that one. Jedi Mike says, I would love to go on a Western Caribbean excursion. Yeah, me too, man. Sabersmith says, I don't think they would let that leak, sort of like the Luke situation. If you're talking about Sabine, I definitely agree. I don't think that they would let that leak. That's something that they would want to keep on the down low, if you will. That's something that, like Grogu being a secret for The Mandalorian Season 1, Luke being a secret for The Mandalorian Season 2, They tried to keep Ahsoka a secret, but you can't keep Ahsoka a secret. It's hard when Rosario Dawson is in The Mandalorian, you know what I mean? But yeah, it definitely seems like Sabine would be kind of a secretive thing that they wouldn't want getting out there. And maybe even Ahsoka is in it as well. Alright, let's continue with this article. Hopefully I didn't blow it up too much. I definitely did. Alright, hold on. Let me fix this so you guys can get a better look at what we're talking about. I guess it's mostly on there. All that, and there's plenty more inside the issue. We take a first look at Fast 10. Rolling the dice on Dungeons and Dragons, honor among thieves, conduct a career spanning. So there's a whole bunch of stuff in this article that for The Mandalorian Season 3. And again, The Mandalorian Season 3 does come out on Disney from March 1st and going on from there. So definitely an exciting time to be a fan of The Mandalorian and a fan of Star Wars, man. Let's check out this next article because I think there is two more that we may want to look at. The first one is The Mandalorian Season 3 opens up the world of Mandalore and The Mandalorian, says Pedro Pascal. Exclusive image. And then we get Katie Sackhoff gave her input to The Mandalorian showrunners for Bo-Katan in Season 3. Her pain is my pain. Let's go. All right, let's check out both of these articles real quick. All right. And again, it's just way too blown up. Help me out here, man. Come on, thing. Get smaller. The people need to see. The people need to see. Quickly. Shrink the image. Oh no. Alright, well, hopefully that's good enough. I don't know. It's probably not. Oh no, there it goes. It's completely gone now. Oh no, go back to the layer. Alright, I'm going to try to pull this up for you guys. I'm so sorry about that. Window capture just loves giving me a fun time. It's great. It's great. Be a streamer, they said. It's so fun, they said. I don't know who said that. They were lying. They were lying. I'm just kidding. I love streaming with you guys. Oh no. Opens up the world. Here we go. Alright, sorry about the delay. Let us get this going. The Mandalorian Season 3 opens up the world of Mandalore and the Mandalorians, says Pedro Pascal. Heck yeah. So I do think this is probably like a little Pedro interview. Gotta love it, man. Gotta love it. Let's dive into it. So strap in, everyone. The Mandalorian is blasting back into Star Wars. Din Djarin is about to return for a long-awaited Season 3 with Grogu back at his side following their touching reunion in the Book of Boba Fett. And a fresh batch of adventures are on the horizon, as Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni's epic saga barrels into a new era now with writer-director Rick Famuyiwa joining them as an executive producer. There's plenty to look forward to. Not only is Pedro Pascal's former bounty hunter facing the ramifications of choosing to remove his helmet, a total no-go in his branch of the culture and belief system, in order to look into Grogu's eyes, but it's a journey, both physical and spiritual, that will take him to Mandalore itself. It's fair to say that the scope of the new season, developing further into the Mandalorian mythology Filoni helped establish in the Clone Wars, alongside Jon Favreau with that as well, just so you know, is about to get bigger. What I love the most about Season 3 is how much the world opens up in terms of the Mandalorians and Mandalore and the Mandalorians, Pedro Pascal tells Empire. That means so many different facets of culture, politics, and rules and discoveries. Delicious doors are flying wide open, adding complications to his quest for forgiveness? ? Interesting. So definitely some cool stuff that Pedro said there, kind of teasing out Season 3. And then it says, Mando now wields the much contested Darksaber, a hard-fought after weapon with a weighted history for the Mandalorian people, and special significance for his fellow Mandalorian warrior, Bo-Katan, who once lost the saber. And I will say, it is quite the hard-fought after saber. I mean, look at this thing. I had to take out a freaking mailman to get this. You know what I mean? Poor Amazon guy didn't stand a chance. He didn't stand a chance. Actually, it was probably GameStop, to be honest, but which means it was probably the FedEx or whatever. But I beat him. I got the saber. So introducing in live action in Mandalorian Season 2, Bo-Katan sees Katie Sackhoff reprise her voice role from the animated series, and after all these years in the Star Wars galaxy, even she was surprised when she saw the territory that Season 3 script were taking them into. I was texting John and Dave, she said, "Are you serious? This is an epic season. It's so big and so bold and so different." She promises, and for Bo-Katan, it brings big challenges. Her dynamic with Din Djarin isn't an easy one, and her tangled history doesn't hold easy options for the future. We know the family that she was born into. Now what's the family that she's going to choose? What does that look like? And that's what Katie Sackhoff basically questions. That's the thing with the Mandalorians, they always find the way. And that's why this is the way. And here we get that awesome Empire exclusive cover. Pretty freaking dope. And no, it's not the Empire you're thinking of, guys. Come on, that's all Sheiv P. He's handling that. The new issue of Empire takes a world exclusive dive into the Mandalorian's epic return in a massive 20-page blowout, as we've already read, with major interviews, never before seen images, and fresh concept art. Can't wait for it to drop. I can't wait for it to drop. It's going to be so good. We get under the helmet with the Mandalorians themselves, Pedro Pascal, Katie Sackhoff, and Emily Swallow. We go long with the Mandalorian creators Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni in a huge new joint. I can't wait for this. A huge new joint interview spanning the entire journey with the show so far and what comes next. Plus, we go back to the beginning of Grogu in an all-new oral history. Alright, so we're definitely going to have to check that out when it comes out. Oh my god, this is hilarious. Pedro Pascal can't see shit in the Mandalorian armor. If there's a hole, I'm gonna fall into it. I'm dead. I kind of want to read that too. I'm not gonna lie, that's hysterical. Pedro Pascal can't see shit in the Mandalorian armor. If there's a hole, I'm gonna fall into it. I'm freaking dead. Okay. Wow, there's so many articles. Empire's world exclusive The Mandalorian Season 3 covers revealed. Dave Filoni on how the Clone Wars influences his storytelling on The Mandalorian. Things don't come to a perfect ending exclusive. Oh, there's so many articles. I don't know if we have a time to get through all of this today. Oh my gosh. The Mandalorian Season 3, Grogu chases crab rocks and never before seen concept art. Oh, look at this. There's so much stuff coming. Carl Weathers promises more action and more scope in his Season 3 episode. This is freaking dope, man. I'm definitely excited to get through all of this in the coming weeks leading into The Mandalorian Season 3 with you guys, because it's going to be freaking lit. But let me know what you guys are thinking of all of this down in the chat as we open up the Katie Sackhoff gave her input to The Mandalorian showrunners exclusive. If I even can. All right, here it is. What are you guys thinking? How are we feeling about The Mandalorian Season 3 after reading some of these articles so far? I'm hyped. This is definitely going to be dope. There's your little Ant-Man Quantum Mania thing. If you guys are, I see you, Dominic. I'm seeing it. But let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Sabersmith says, I don't think they would let that leak. Okay, we read that one a little bit ago. If we see Sabine, says Dawn, it may be with Ahsoka in chapter 24 or the end credit scene. I agree. That definitely could be something that they do. Maybe they would save Sabine and Ahsoka for the end of the show, kind of leading into Ahsoka's show that's coming out later this year. It definitely makes a lot of sense for them to do that and tease it up, get a little hyped for the fandom. You know what I mean? It would get a lot of people more interested in the Ahsoka show. What up, Steve Starenka? Good to see you in the chat, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Don says lots of peeps for Mando. Set signed Natasha's birthday card, though. That is true. A lot of people from Mando did the Mando set sign Natasha's birthday card. That is true. I think she was on Ahsoka that day, and I wouldn't be surprised if, of course, a lot of the Mandalorian characters do show up in Ahsoka. That wouldn't be a big surprise to me. I mean, this is the Mandoverse, after all. I mean, a lot of the characters that we know and love from Mandalorian and Mandalorian Season 2 did show up in the Book of Boba Fett. So it's definitely possible we could get some more characters that we know in the Ahsoka show. But yeah, maybe she was on the Mando set that day. Who knows? Talented Mr. Griffin says Stubby is fired. Knew it. Fire him. No, we love Stubby. He messes up all the time, but gotta love Stubby, man. That dude's a great droid. Talented Mr. Griffin also says, I hope we get some more lore on the construction of the Darksaber as we head into the Mandalorian 3rd season. Me too, dude. I definitely would love to see some more backstory and lore within the Darksaber. What I really would love to see is kind of the history of Tar Vizsla. I don't know if we'll ever quite see that. But dude, how cool would it be to see the first Mandalorian Jedi? And to see how he constructed the Darksaber, why it's so different. It would just be so wild. It would be so cool. I mean, the Mandalorians and the Jedi are like two of the most popular things ever created in Star Wars. What could be cooler than a dope-ass set of armor and a laser sword? And then putting the two together. We want to see it. We want to see it, man. I would love to get some more lore and information on how it was constructed, and of course on Tar Vizsla. That would be so cool. It'd be so cool. Dominic Russo says, I think Pedro is fed up with Star Wars. No. I'm sorry, I gotta disagree with you, my man. There's been this whole thing going on lately about the stunt doubles of the Mandalorian. Or for the Mandalorian. For Din Djarin. Maybe I shouldn't even go into this, but I'm gonna do it. I'm tired of it. I love all three of the Mandalorians, and every single one of them is my Din Djarin. That's the truth. I love Brendan Wayne. Unfortunately, I don't even remember the other guy's name, and I feel like that's just proves my point. I'm a Star Wars streamer, and I don't even know the dude, the third stunt double, or the third actor that plays Din Djarin. These dudes need more recognition. You're telling me Pedro doesn't get all the recognitions for the Mandalorian? Really? I mean, Pedro definitely gives so much credit to Brendan Wayne and the stunt doubles that basically have taken over Din Djarin's performance. I'd say probably 60 to 80% of what we see of Din Djarin is Brendan Wayne. That's Brendan Wayne. Brendan Wayne is really the movement of Din Djarin at this point. I'm sorry to say. Pedro definitely probably has done some stuff in reshoots, and I'm not discrediting Pedro by any means. Don't think I am. Please don't think I am. I love Pedro Pascal. I love him in Last of Us. I love almost everything that Pedro's done. I love his acting. I love his characters. Pedro's a freaking great actor. He really is. Especially the scene with the Bill Burr episode in season 2 where he takes off his helmet for the first, like one of the first times, and you kind of just see like Din's reaction, and Pedro's movements without the helmet on are literally the same movements when the helmet's on. And obviously he's trying to, make it seem like, this is a dude that never takes off his helmet. So this is what he does when he does. Like, it was so subtle, the acting that he did when he did take off his helmet. But it was incredible. Every little tiny detail of his acting is great. So don't think I'm discrediting Pedro Pascal by any means. Do I think he's fed up with Star Wars? Hell no. Hell no. He just ended up working on the freaking Last of Us. I mean, I saw this thing where he was doing, I don't know if it was the Night Show or the Daily Show, Tonight Show, whatever the heck show it was. But basically, Pedro's on there talking about how he got the call for the Last of Us. And he's like, yeah, I was talking with them throughout the night. Basically, I took, I don't know what he took, but he took some type of drug to help him fall asleep. And he got a little too wonky because that's what Pedro does. And my dude said he forgot that he got the job because they called him within an hour of him taking that thing. And he literally was like, oh, I got the job. So cool. Woke up the next morning, completely forgot about that. And was like, oh man, I really hope I get this job. And then checks out his phone and sees all the texts. Congrats for getting the job, dude. That's awesome. He's like, oh, I forgot. Pedro probably forgot he even had the Last of Us thing. And was like, look, man, I'm busy all the time doing other projects. The popularity that I've gotten from Star Wars, mainly, obviously he's also known for being in Game of Thrones, but the popularity that he's got from Star Wars has led to all these other cool roles, which makes him too busy to be in Star Wars. I don't think he's fed up with Star Wars. I think he loves Star Wars. I love Pedro. I know so many people in the fan do. Like, I love Pedro Pascal, man. I love Pedro Pascal. Even if he's doing the voice, like, primarily, that's like his job as Din Djarin. Heck, I do think we're going to see him without his helmet a tad bit more this season and going forward. I think that'll happen. But even then, like, Even if we just see him with the helmet on all the time and it's mainly his voice, he still does a great job. I don't care. More for Lateef and more for Brendan. Thank you, obviously, Subdude, for telling me Lateef's name. Sabersmith, I see you putting it in there. Aaron Tomato, all you guys. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm freaking talking about. Brendan Wayne and Lateef Crowder need more respect. That's facts. Talented Mr. Griffin, my dude, thank you for gifting 5 Vader Slayer memberships. That's so cool. I don't know if I can see. Obi-Wan Homie, you were gifted a membership. Smalls, you were gifted a membership as well. Josh for Prez 2040, you were gifted a membership. I was gifted a membership. Oh no. Now I feel like I gotta gift some more memberships because I got one. Dude, trust me, bro, you were gifted a membership as well. Thank you for becoming members. Go make sure to, tell Talented Mr. Griffin thank you. Tell Talented Mr. Griffin thank you. And thank you, Talented Mr. Griffin. Much love. I gotta get going with the freaking membership stuff. I'm sorry, guys, for those of you that are members. Josh for Prez 2040. Good to see you in the chat, by the way. Don Cotterman says, here's my breakdown. Having had lots of short charts with Brendan, 70 to 75% Brendan, 15% Lateef, all heavy fighting scenes, 5 to 10% Pedro and the voice. That's probably accurate. That's probably accurate, Don. Thank you, Sheiv the Wise, for becoming a member. That's hysterical. Thank you, though, for real, Talented Mr. Griffin. That's awesome. I definitely agree, though, Don. I think probably 70 to 75% is Brendan. 15% is Lateef when he's doing some of the action stuff, which is badass. He's got some of the coolest stunt moves in the game. And then the rest is probably Pedro from there. I agree. And that's okay. I'm hyped for it, and Pedro does a great job. So does freaking Brendan Wayne. I think he knocks his performance out of the park. And Lateef, like I said, one of the best stunt performers I think I've seen in live action. He's awesome. He's freaking awesome. Alright, where was I before that? The Stanley says David Prowse is Vader just as much as James Earl Jones, Sebastian Shaw, and Hayden Christensen. Preach! I'm getting a little too hype right now, but that's because Mando is so exciting. Preach, my man. Just like Vader is played by 7 different people. Having these 3 dudes as the Mandalorian, they are my Mandalorian. They are my Din Djarin. All 3 of them. And I'm so sorry to Lateef for forgetting your name earlier. Because you're awesome, dude. You're freaking awesome. He didn't forget about The Last of Us. He's capping. Well, I don't know, Dominic. I've heard some stories about Pedro. I'll tell you that. And I freaking love the dude. He's a little bit of a stoner. I'm just saying. I forget things all the time. I'm not saying don't, but I forget things all the time, man. I think it's really possible he could have, at least for that morning. You know what I mean? He could have woke up and been like I read this thing the other day that our brains don't really wake up in the morning until like 10 a.m. So I'm sure it could have been like 6, 7 a.m. Dude was getting out of bed to go to work or do some type of work, right? And he's going, oh man, I need my coffee. What even happened last night? Oh man, I hope I get that Last of Us job. Looks at his phone, he says, oh, I got the job! That totally sounds like Pedro. Are you kidding me? It sounds like Pedro to me. Yeah, but now his career has taken off. He doesn't need Star Wars. I'm sure, dude. He doesn't need Star Wars. But I don't think he doesn't want to be in Star Wars. I think all that Pedro helmet stuff is way blown out of proportion. That's what I'm gonna say. He's gone rabid. He's frantic. Yeah, I'm definitely going off a little bit, as Aaron Tomato even says. I'm not even angry. I'm just hyped, and I got so much love. Dominic says, Sheiv, you really believe you forgot about a casting for one of the most popular games? Come on. Yeah. I do. I for sure do, bro. Are you kidding? At least for like 15 minutes after he woke up? Yeah, I do. Welcome to the lair, says Dale. Welcome it. Would you put Cavill and Pedro in the same category as actors? They seem to both have a behind-the-scenes behavior. I don't know too much about Cavill's behavior. I wouldn't even say Pedro has too much of a behind-the-scenes behavior. I don't know. Pedro's Pedro's awesome. He's such a character. I love that dude. But maybe. I mean, I think really the thing with Cavill is that Warner Brothers didn't know what they were doing. Maybe with Superman. I really don't know. I haven't been super into Warner Brothers or DC. Like I'll watch the stuff. I like the stuff most of the time. But I've always liked Cavill. I've never really paid too much attention to the Cavill drama because I'm not into the DC space the way I am into Star Wars, unfortunately. DC used to be like one of my favorite things as a kid. I love Batman. Superman's dope. I was a big animated Justice League fan. I don't know. Cavill, I don't know too much about how Cavill is on set. Maybe that's why he had issues with The Witcher and different things. I'm starting to wonder, though, if he's just got a bad agent. Pedro is a better actor than Cavill, says Dominic. I can't really disagree. I like Pedro a little better, at least as an actor. I love both of them. They're both awesome. Don says Latif is a specialist in South American martial arts. Can't remember what it's called, so he has all those fight moves, i.e. Din versus Moff in Imp Cruiser Hallway. Definitely, probably part of it. I'm sure a lot of the scenes with Din with the Darksaber, that's probably Latif. Heck, when he slices the dude in half in the Book of Boba Fett, I guarantee that's probably Latif. So to your point, Don, yeah, Latif does some of the coolest stuff we've seen Din Djarin do. He really does. And he's awesome. Talented Mr. Read that one. What did you think of the Flash trailer, Sheiv? I put my thoughts out on Twitter, if you guys didn't see, but got me kind of excited. It got me kind of excited. I think it's so cool to bring in Zod back. I was super skeptical of the Flash movie. I'll be the first one to say it. I'm not a big fan of Ezra Miller. I think he did well in the Snyderverse as Flash, and I really liked, some of the things that they did with Flash. I think he runs a little weird. That's just my opinion. But I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Ezra Miller. But dude, it looks so cool. I will say too, I thought the Batman looked almost exactly like he did back in the day. You know what I mean? Getting Keaton back is so cool. I will say that. And I really like the Keaton and Clooney movies back in the day. And I haven't been paying attention to all the Clooney drama or whatever the heck's going on with that. But I will say it did look like you could have at least made Keaton's suit look a little bit newer. Like, I know they changed the colors and did some things, but it's like, dude, I feel like I'm back in 1990 or 80 or whenever that movie came out watching the same damn Batman. Like, come on, you could have updated his stuff a little bit. That being said, though, I'm really excited for the movie. I think it's going to be cool. I really like some of the ideas they're bringing into it. Again, bringing Zod back, having Kara as Supergirl, I think that's really cool, and I'm rooting for her. But yeah, man, I thought the trailer was awesome. No lie. CT0420, what up? Welcome into the chat, man. Where am I? I gotta get going. The stream's probably got like 10-15 minutes left, if I'm being real. Keep it OG. What's wrong with you, Sheiv? What happened? What did I do? Brennan Wayne and Dominic says Brennan Wayne and Lateef Crowder showing up to Celebration was awesome. You said it, my man. It definitely was. Don says he's a goofy child that also gets stoned, but a total professional according to other co-actors. It's not actors telling these stories. Yeah, 100%. I don't doubt that Pedro's an absolute professional. I got nothing wrong with stoners at all. Just saying. What happened to OG? I'm confused. I feel I'm always in top chat when I'm reading the chat. I feel like I gotta go to live chat because I was watching one of my streams the other day, watching it over, and I clicked the live chat instead of like the top chat, and there were some chats that I didn't even see streaming, and I'm like, bro, YouTube, what the heck, man? Talented Mr. Griffin, nor am I, but the trailer is dope. Yeah, dude, the trailer was freaking dope. The trailer was dope. Even if I'm not a fan of Ezra, the trailer was dope. I just can't support that movie, says Dominic. I get it. I kind of get it. I'm sorry. I don't know, man. I'm excited for it looked kind of cool. Don says also on $1, the first Bill Burr episode when he slides down the hall and knocks all the Republic security droids down like a bowling pin. So you're saying that's probably Lateef too? That's dope. That's dope. Saber Smith says, Sheiv, did you see the Indy 5 TV spot? What did you think? I did see it. I'm hyped. I've always been a pretty big Indiana Jones fan. Anytime you got George Lucas, Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones is dope. I used to love the Lego Indiana Jones games. One of the first times I went to Disneyland, I bought the fedora. I love Indiana Jones, man. Maybe they should have stopped after 3. I'm not a big fan of the Crystal Skull. But heck, I'm excited for 5, man. It looks good. Hey, Hawks Holocron, welcome into the chat, my man. Can't wait to talk with you in Obsession tomorrow if we're streaming. I think we are. We got to get the Bad Batch hype. Don says Cavill was supposedly not pleased with all the nudity scenes for the sake of nudity. That's a reoccurring thing these days, and I don't blame actors. That is a thing. I'm not a huge fan of the show You, because there's some messed up stuff in that show. But my girlfriend loves the show You on Netflix. And with the 4th season, we're watching it the other night, and I'm going, this show makes me uncomfortable. You know what I mean? And she tells me, she's like, yeah, apparently the main actor of the show didn't want to do as many sex scenes or something for it. And it was more out of respect for, like, his relationship with his wife and different things. And, dude, props to actors that choose to do that or feel like, they're put in situations where they got to do more sexual content or nudity than they're comfortable with. Like, it's not needed. Sometimes. Sometimes, sure. I get it. Once in a while. But if you're doing it all the time, it's a little overplayed. Nudity for the sake of nudity is what made America great. I'm dead, Nerd Mafia. Welcome into the chat, you freaking buffoon. Nah, much love to Nerd Mafia. Good to see you, my man. Alright, let's get into this article finally. Katie Sackhoff gave her input to the Mandalorian showrunners for Bo-Katan in Season 3. Her pain is my pain. So it says, over 10 years now that Katie Sackhoff has first played the Mandalorian warrior Bo-Katan Kryze in the Star Wars universe. While the character's live-action debut came in Season 2 of The Mandalorian, with Sackhoff herself donning Bo-Katan's armor, her history with the character goes right back to 2012 when she was introduced in the Clone Wars animated series, reappearing across multiple seasons and also in a fellow animated series, Rebels. She did awesome in that too. The character has a long-standing history in the galaxy far, far away, and Sackhoff has been there the whole way. Yeah, man, she definitely has been there the whole way, and it's almost an understatement to say that, Bo-Katan has had a long-standing history in the galaxy. Like, her sister was Mandalore. She was the ruler of Mandalore at one point. Like, she's got royal blood in her veins. So it says, and now with Bo-Katan making an even bigger dent in The Mandalorian Season 3. A dent like Boba. That's funny. She's so in tune with the character that executive producers Jon Favreau and Rick Famuyiwa regularly sought her expertise while shooting the latest batch of episodes. She said, I've lived in this woman's skin for a long time. And in their world exclusive of The Mandalorian Season 3 issue, she also said, one of the things that John and I focus on is where she is in the moment. What peppers her experience. John and Rick every single day defer to me, which is crazy. It's a crazy experience to have these masters asking me what I feel, evolving from a solely voice role to a physical performance. It's still the same Bo-Katan inside. It respects the craft and the years that I put into it, says Katie Sackhoff. What just happened? I really do know her. Her pain is my pain. When she experiences something, I really feel it. Dude, that's some deep stuff from Katie, and it's so cool to see how entrenched she has become with this character, how involved she is with Star Wars. To hear that John and Rick Famuyiwa are literally going to her for stuff on her character. That's so cool to me. And that just shows like how open John and Rick in particular are with, having her give her input of over 10 years of experience on the character. It's awesome. It's freaking awesome. And not just emotionally, while 5 different women donned Bo-Katan's armor throughout the shooting of Season 3, some of the action moves still came down to Sackhoff. So, see, even here, Bo-Katan is being played by 5 people! I didn't even know that! 5 different women don Bo-Katan's armor. And every single 5 of them are going to be Bo-Katan. While Katie is the face and obviously the voice of Bo-Katan, and I freaking love Katie Sackhoff. Don't get me started with her. 5 different people are playing her. 5, that's more than 10. That's more than 10. We got to give the respect to the people that are going to be playing her as well. I'm sure there's going to be some awesome stunt doubles, and I am hyped to see Bo-Katan in Season 3. Which brings us to our final point. I'm going to end this article real quick here. But if you guys are interested in seeing more of Empire's coverage of The Mandalorian, definitely go check it out on the Empire website, empireonline.com, I believe. And we're definitely probably going to go over some more in the coming weeks as we reach closer to The Mandalorian Season 3. So let's get into the lair and speculate a little bit, because Sheiv loves to do that. I love my speculation. Let's do it. Alright, so now that we're in the lair, it ended off basically talking about how much I love Katie Sackhoff and Bo-Katan being played by 5 different people. Well, let's talk about a little bit of a conversation here. Everyone in the chat, let me know what you think. Who do you think is going to become Mandalore in Mandalorian Season 3? Is it going to be Din? Is it going to be Bo-Katan? Someone else? Let me know what you're thinking down in the chat. I will say, as far as claims to the throne, Bo-Katan, historically, I believe she already led some of the people of Mandalore at one point. Her sister, like I said before, was a ruler, obviously. She was once the holder of the Darksaber before losing it to Moff Gideon, we presume. Although now that belongs to Din Djarin. So maybe his claim is stronger? I don't know. But those 2 are probably our primary candidates of who could become Mandalore. Let me know what you guys are thinking on who could become Mandalore. But I'm starting to think of a 3rd choice. And there you go. You already put in the chat, talented Mr. Griffin. I think Boba Fett could be the Mandalore. Now, I'm not going to say he's going to become the Mandalore right away. And again, I do think Boba's going to be in the Mandalorian Season 3. There's almost no chance, in my opinion, he's not. Let's talk about this for a second. If I'm being honest, I think it'll be Bo-Katan at first. I think it'll be Bo-Katan. I think she's going to help be united by Din Djarin's going to unite the Mandalorians, I think. I think he will, if I'm being honest. I think Din Djarin is going to unite the Mandalorians. And like it talked about in one of those articles a little bit ago, I think Bo-Katan is going to be on a journey of trying to maybe accept that Din can unite them and that she can kind of join in with that. You know, really unite the Mandalorian people the way her sister tried to. Maybe it's not as peaceful, because, you know, they are warriors, especially at this time frame. But I think Katie Sackhoff's Bo-Katan is actually probably going to be the Mandalore by the end of Mandalorian Season 3. However, oh my god, Timothy! Welcome into the chat. However, I think it's going to be Boba Fett by the end of the day. And I think Boba Fett in The Mandalorian Season 3, the reason we're going to see him, I think, is because he's truly going to immerse himself in the Mandalorian culture. I think he's going to become a Mandalorian. And his journey along the way, I think even in maybe the Book of Boba Fett Season 2, could lead to Boba Fett becoming the Mandalore. Think back to Book of Boba Season 1, which I know many people have their opinions on. Think back to the Book of Boba Fett Season 1. Season 1, though. What is that season primarily about? I ask you guys this. I want to get your brain going. It's primarily about Boba finding belonging. That's really what it is, especially the first half. We see the flashbacks of Boba finding his place with the Tusken people on Tatooine. After, you know, rising from the Sarlacc pit, surviving one of the hellish hells you can ever imagine. I mean, people die for years in the Sarlacc. But he made it out. And who was there to rescue him, well, really, take him in, was the Tuskens. But he became one with them. He became part of their tribe, which is something that the Boba Fett character, if you guys didn't know, has been doing since his father's death back in Attack of the Clones. Now, Obviously, Boba's trajectory and story led him to become a bounty hunter, just like his father. But where did bounty hunting lead him? It left him dead in the sands of Tatooine. That's the truth of it. It did. Eventually, he found his fate the same way that almost every other bounty hunter finds their fate, dead in the sand, just like, Cad Bane at the end of the season does. That was supposed to be Boba. He was supposed to be dead in the sand. But he rises up, finds a new belonging, and finds a tribe that he actually can be with. Except what happens in the Book of Boba? That tribe is killed. They're destroyed. Goodbye, Tuskens. And who does he end up finding belonging with at the end of the Book of Boba Fett? Din Djarin. Din Djarin. Shout out to Obsession for this, because he's been helping me piece the puzzles together over on my streams on this channel. Shout out to you, the Star Wars Obsession. But for real though, he has finally found his belonging. Boba has found his belonging with Din Djarin, with a Mandalorian. Which we know back in The Mandalorian Season 2, he talked about how this armor was his father's and how he was a Mandalorian before him. And guess what? In the old Legends comics, at one point, Jango is the Mandalor. Jango is. So maybe Boba Fett has a claim just like Katie does. Just like Bo-Katan does. And not to mention, in the EU, in Legends, at one point, Boba does become Mandalor. He does. So I definitely think if we're going back to Tatooine, we're going to see Boba. He already talked about how at the Book of Boba Fett, he, didn't think that the crime boss life was really for him. I guess that's what I would, describe it as. It wasn't for him. And he learned that. Just like bounty hunting probably really wasn't for him. I think he's finally found his belonging with the Mandalorians. And I think going forward, it's definitely possible that we could see Boba eventually take the mantle of Mandalore. Again, I do think Bo-Katan will likely become Mandalore before that. But I think at the end of the day, it's going to be Boba. And I can't wait for it, man. I think it's going to be awesome. And almost a redemption for the way fans felt his character was handled in the Book of Boba Fett. Which, again, I loved. I love the Book of Boba Fett. I'm a little bit of a simp. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think it's time for Boba's story arc to come full circle, to learn more about his father's past, hopefully, in the Book of Boba Fett Season 2, and to finally see my boy Boba become the Mandalore. That's what I think. Let me know if you guys think I'm crazy. XJ says, what up? He says, Josh and Theory are going to run dark and darker in 10 minutes. That sounds kind of suggestive. Uh-oh. That's what's up, though. Timothy says, you've seen Jon Favreau just received his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame? I didn't, but that's awesome, man. Well deserved to him. I mean, Jon Favreau has created two of the launching points, I guess you could say, for the biggest franchises in the world, in my opinion, being Marvel and, at least, movie franchises. Marvel and Star Wars. Jon Favreau was a big part, obviously, of The Mandalorian. And of course, he was the the director for Iron Man. I think he was the whole movie run or whatever you want to call it. He was the director for Iron Man, the first Marvel movie or MCU movie. So I mean, Jon Favreau long has been deserving of a star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Not to mention all the other amazing things he's done. Elf, one of the best Christmas movies ever, in my opinion. Jon Favreau is just great. He's great. Well deserved though, Tim. That's awesome. Meg posed a good theory this morning. Maybe something that trumps the Darksaber, says Don. Yeah, I've been in the know on this theory for quite some time. There is a theory within the fandom, or at least within Star Wars Center and Star Wars Meg's speculation, that at some point there will be something that has a bigger claim to the throne than the Darksaber. And it's definitely possible. I think in maybe other material that might be the case. I'm not too freshened up on my EU Mandalorian history, if I'm being honest. Yes, in Legends. But I do think that's possible. You're not a simp. You like what you like, says Dominic. Hey, well, there you go. I mean, I'm a little bit of a simp for Star Wars. I mean, I feel like I like every Star Wars project, but that's just because I'm such a big Star Wars nerd. I mean, I got a whole damn Star Wars channel, Dale Erdman says, I'm going with Her Majesty after Din brings the clan back together. I'm with it, man. We do know that there is a rumored project in the works titled Ghost Track 17, I think. It's a secret project that Dave and John are working on. Well, Ghost Track 17. That's a reference to the Beatles and a ghost track that they have titled Her Majesty. And yeah, Bo-Katan is probably going to be Her Majesty. Let's be real. Timothy says, John deserves a lot of credit for Marvel. He even has production credits on Infinity War and Endgame. I didn't even know that, but that's so cool. I mean, he has been Happy Hogan since all the way back in Iron Man, which, if you guys didn't know, in the Iron Man kind of comics and different things, Happy Hogan was once like a jock kind of bully figure. I don't know how to describe it, but he's always been the head of security or forehead of security. And I love the other thing. Jon Favreau has this thing where he puts himself in almost every project he's done. He's Paz Vizsla in The Mandalorian. He's the Doctor in Elf. And he's also, of course, Happy Hogan in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So just another reason why Jon Favreau is so cool. Do you like Darth Bane or Malgus more? Probably Bane. Bane created the rule of two. Bane's a total badass. He's actually in Star Wars canon. And in Star Wars The Clone Wars, there's a little scene where in season 6, I believe, Yoda's going on this crazy, arc with the wills. The wills of the Force. And on that arc, I believe he goes to Malachor, the Sith Temple on Malachor, if I'm not mistaken. And he actually sees the ghost of Darth Bane, which is how he's canon now. And that's voiced by none other than Luke Skywalker himself, Mark Hamill. So just a fun little tidbit there. I do like Darth Bane a little bit more than Malgus, though. Timothy said, I read that one. Mask of the Manda'lor the Great. Yes, I have heard this theory. Dale Erdman says, read that one too. I didn't know that. And John F. deserves it. He definitely deserves it. Dude, I love Jon Favreau. I love him and Dave so much. They're the absolute best. Don says, yep, Din stood by Boba and Din was willing to go down with him. He absolutely was. And it really just shows the bond that the two have formed together throughout, the Book of Boba Fett and in The Mandalorian Season 2. And I think that bond is going to go even further with Din trying to unite the Mandalorians, being like, yo, look, I know you're not exactly a Mandalorian, but welcome to the Mandalorians. Yoda goes to Korriban / Moraban. Okay, thank you for that, Stanley's. He sees Bane's spirit. Yes, that is exactly what. So it wasn't Malachor. Malachor is in Star Wars Rebels, which is where all the crazy shit goes down at the end of season 2. Alright, where was I? Alf was and is hilarious to this day. It is. Alf is awesome. Sabersmith says, if we do see Boba in season 3, I hope he's kicking ass and taking names. I think he will be. I think there's a good chance he will be. I did. Where else was I? I didn't remember. Preach. Alright, here we go. Let's see what else has been going on. I do want to show you guys this real quick, since we do have our Bad Batch streams tomorrow. If you guys are new to the channel, a big welcome to you. Make sure to subscribe for more awesome Star Wars content. But tomorrow we're going to be doing 2 live streams, I think, and maybe even a 3rd live stream over at the Star Wars Obsession, so go check out his channel. But we are going to be doing a preview for Bad Batch Episode 9, and we are going to have our watch party for Episode 9 at 11:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, about 30 minutes before the episode drops. So if you guys want to watch along with us, see my live reaction to the latest episode of The Bad Batch, again, make sure to subscribe and even check out our Discord, because I'll put out some alerts when those are up and when they're, when we're going to be going live tomorrow. So keep your eyes peeled for that if you're hanging out with us in the Discord. Let me pull this up so you guys can see it before we head out of here. If you guys have any last comments to put, make sure to throw them into the chat. I'm like skeptical of throwing this up because I feel like it's gonna crash. Guaranteed it's gonna be a black screen. I don't want to do this. Hold on, give me 1 second. let me make sure it doesn't trip out. I want you guys to see this. So Steven Stanton a long-known member of Lucasfilm. He's, a voice actor for Star Wars. He's been in Rebels, all the sorts of stuff. He's done plenty of voices. I think he was even Masamida in the latest episode of The Bad Batch, as well as back in the Clone Wars, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm switching it up here. But Steven Stanton has been a part of Star Wars a long time, and he tweeted, "People are tuning into Star Wars The Bad Batch. Let's go!" Last week's episode, Tribe, was number 3 in the top 10 most watched streaming original shows. So this was back 2 weeks ago, I guess now. But the episode Tribe with Gunji was number 3 on all original streaming shows. How I Met Your Father and Criminal Minds were the only shows ahead of it. Heck, Poker Face was behind that, National Treasure, Edge of History, Mayor of Kingston, Shrinking, Wolfpack, all these different shows. Maybe even Last of Us at the time. Maybe Last of Us wasn't coming out yet. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure that's an HBO original too, is it not? I don't know. I'm kind of skeptical about this list now, because where's Last of Us? But number 3 is Bad Batch. It's being watched. A lot of people are loving the latest episodes. So definitely exciting time to be a Star Wars fan. Exciting to get so much content right now. And I'm hyped for tomorrow's episode as we get closer to the end of the season and start our second half of the season. So let's head back into the lair, read some more comments before we get on out of here. Much love to you guys for hanging out with us. God, it's 7:02 already. My goodness. Aaron Tomato says the Bad Batch is doing well, and I'm glad, man. Me too, dude. I'm definitely glad the Bad Batch is doing well as well. It makes me happy. It makes me feel some tingles as a Star Wars fan. It's good stuff. Timothy, what up? He says, I hope if Mando ends in a big movie event that John will direct. Me freaking too, man. Me freaking too. I hope Ahsoka goes for a number of seasons, and that we can maybe even get like an Ahsoka Mando, big old Mandoverse, collusion event where it's like co-directed by John and Dave. That would be so cool. Dawn says Her Majesty's a pretty nice girl, but she doesn't have a lot to say. Is it to say or today? Aaron Tomato says, be sure to hit that like button before you leave. Much love, Aaron Tomato. Thanks, my man. Appreciate you. And thank you for always hanging out with us in the chat. Much love, Aaron. Dominic says, I wish I could make your watch parties. Unfortunately, I have to wake up too early. I hear you, Dominic. I hear you. Heck, I wish I could make it to my watch parties. There was one week a couple weeks ago that I missed it. So I don't blame you. It happens. And I understand on the East Coast. And I vouch for you guys. I'm fighting for you every week, man. Stop doing this to us, Disney. Stop releasing the episodes at 12 midnight Pacific Standard Time. It's horrifying. The people on the East Coast, it's 3 a.m. How dare you? We're trying to get sleep. Please, just drop it at 9 Pacific Standard. That'd be way better. I beg of you. I'm vouching for you guys. I feel it, man. Tim says Last of Us is an HBO show, not HBO Max. That's why it's not on there. Okay, that makes sense. I'm sure when you compare it to everything in the world, Bad Batch is, is doing alright. But when you compare it on there, it looks awesome. And even then, as far as Star Wars animation goes, I think the Bad Batch is some of the best stuff we've had. And that's saying something, because Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels are 2 of my favorite Star Wars projects ever. I'm happy for the Bad Batch. The animation quality is absolutely amazing, says Dominic. It is, man. It is. And I'm really happy for it, too. It continues to surprise me with some of the stuff they're doing. And I love that they're telling the story and kind of, the story of the clones, really, post-Order 66, through the lens of many of our favorite clone characters, and especially the Bad Batch, of course. It's so cool, man. 9 p.m. Fridays, damn it! You said it, Don. I'm with you. 9 p.m. Fridays. Is that too much to ask? Are you not entertained? Hi! Smalls, much love, my man. Good to see you in the chat. We're getting out of here in a second. I need to go. I really do. HBO makes the best shows. They make some pretty fire stuff. I do agree. HBO has some pretty cool stuff. Any prediction on next episode of Bad Batch, says the Sabersmith. Excellent question. It just releases on HBO Max at the same time, says Timothy. Interesting. I didn't know that. I don't know. Do we have Max? I forgot. We have HBO something. Dang it! Where was I? I forgot. Oh, so Sabersmith, any predictions on the next episodes of The Bad Batch? I gotta look it up, man. I gotta do my research tomorrow while I'm at work. If I had any predictions for next week's episode, I hope that we see Crosshair. And we're going to be doing a kind of a preview stream tomorrow, so definitely make sure to stay tuned for that, Sabersmith. But I hope we see Crosshair, man. It's been a while since we checked up in on him. I heard somebody say recently that they didn't feel like there was much to tell with Crosshair this season, and I'm kind of disagree. I would love to see some more Crosshair and see the progression of his character. There's been some, I don't know what's going on with Bad Batch leaks, because I don't feel like the Bad Batch ever gets leaks. But there's been some kind of speculation on Twitter. I don't think this is really spoilery, because I've been talking about it for weeks, and I do think it's something that will likely happen by the end of this season. I think the Bad Batch is going to have a falling out with Sid. And again, that's been kind of a topic of conversation on Twitter lately. A lot of people talking about potential leaks and stuff. I don't know. I haven't looked into it myself personally. But I do think that at some point the Bad Batch is going to have a fallout with Sid. And that was, kind of teased out in season 1. Again, teased out in season 2 with the Faster episode. I think that's coming though. I think at some point throughout the second half of the season here, before we get obviously to the last couple of episodes, we're going to have a fallout with Sid. The Bad Batch are going to have to figure out what their place is in the galaxy now, and especially now that Echo is no longer a part of the crew. It definitely should be a very, very interesting second half of the season. Alright, y'all. Thank you all for hanging out with me in the chat. Was watching Andor with a friend. Hey, that's what's so small. Share the Star Wars love. I love to see it. Is there an Echo in here? I don't know. Is there? Oh, Steve Starenka, thank you for being a member for 6 months. I can't believe people have been members for half a year. That's crazy. That's crazy. Again, I got to get going with the memberships. Make sure to, if you're interested, it's only $1 to be a member right now. It's only $1 right now. I've heard that Crosshair is only going to be in 2 more episodes since the Stanleys. I don't know. Again, I don't feel like Bad Batch has had too many leaks. Maybe there's some stuff out there that I really don't know about, but I hope he's in more than just 2 more. That's not enough Crosshair for me. Alright, y'all. I'm getting on out of here. We definitely got to talk more about the Bad Batch tomorrow, though, as we are getting our 9th episode. So I'll see you guys for our streams. Again, go check out the Star Wars Obsession so that you can check out when I'm on that channel tomorrow, because my boy's lit. We're going to have a good time over there. And then we are going to be doing a preview stream for the Bad Batch episode 9, as well as our watch party at 11:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for episode 9 and the kickoff of the second half of season 2 of the Bad Batch. I'll see you guys there. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your night. Thanks for hanging out with us in the stream. Much love to everybody, and may the Force be with you guys always. Peace out. Oh wait, I didn't even hit the outro. Peace. Fail, Sheiv, fail. Dawn, thank you for being a member for 5 months. Much love to you. Hey, you stay killing it too, Steve. Look at that. We got some yellow stars in here. That's a full 6 months, I think. You guys are some goats. Thank you all for hanging out with us, and I'll see you tomorrow.